Scrapbook-style documentary videos are widely popular across social media, with one of the most popular channels being Vox. Today, I want to show you how to recreate these motion graphics using Claude and the ElevenCreative Flows agent. You're going to learn how to build out your custom flow so you can repeat the workflow, how to optimize that process using Claude, and I'm going to give you the master prompt and show you what to customize, and finally, how to use the Flows agent so it can build out these entire flows for you so you can create these AI motion graphic videos in minutes instead of hours. Let's begin. Let me show you what we're building. Right here we have an ElevenCreative Flows, which has essentially built out these motion graphics as you can see on the right. But let me explain each part so you understand what you're building, because when you know what you need to build with AI, you can perfect the prompts and get much better outputs so you don't waste your credits. Now, the very first thing, and one of the most important things to create this scrapbook-style documentary, is the actual style prompt. And so this prompt right here is the actual style prompt that we're going to use in all of the prompts when we're generating assets and the actual videos. And we'll put this prompt on screen right now, but essentially you want to customize this prompt and tweak it to have the colors and the feel that you want before moving on to any other step. That way you know what the output of all your generations will look like and it will all have a consistent style. To do some testing, we can take the style prompt and we can go ahead and quickly create a new image generation node. And here what you want to do is select Nano Banana 2 Lite, because this is a very fast image generator that doesn't cost that much. We can then go ahead and run the style prompt so we can see what this style will look like. And if you're not happy with it, you can then go and customize this. And so this will kind of be the overall feel and style. We can see what the colors look like, what the scrapbooks look like, what the images look like, but this is then going to be the style that will apply to the rest of our content and assets. And so if you wanted to go ahead and change the style or change the look, customize the style prompt right here and then quickly regenerate it with Nano Banana 2 Lite so you have your final style prompt before anything else, because we're going to be using this style prompt in all of our generations to create the assets that we need for our documentary videos. And speaking of assets, inside of the flow, here we've uploaded all of the assets. And so the story is essentially me that started making videos as a kid and now me making videos while I'm older. And so I've got a picture of me as a kid, a picture of me now making videos while I'm older, and also a camcorder that looks like the one that I had. For the assets that we don't have, let's say the background, and if you want other recurring assets, well, we can actually go ahead and use AI to generate those as well. And you'll notice that here I've generated the background with Nano Banana 2 Lite, and this is the background that we'll then go and use in all of the future generations. And so once again, if I have a look at the prompt we used to generate this background, as you can see, it begins with the style prompt that I showed you earlier on. But if we scroll down below it, we can actually see the scene that we've generated, which is the persistent background that will be used in every clip. And so now if I scroll across, we can see I've got my background, I've got the picture of me and the camcorder in the first scene that we've generated. And if we have a look here, we've also got the second scene, which has got me and the background. So all of the assets we're using are constantly used as references, including the style prompt that we're also continuously adding into each and every generation. This is what allows all of our generations, despite using different assets, to look consistent. And these ones we generated with GPT Image 2 and went for a 4K quality. Now, if we go to the right, we can actually see the final scenes that have been generated. And so this is the overall flow that we've built. However, this takes time to build because we need to go and create each individual node, add each individual asset, and then type out each individual prompt. And so I'm going to show you how to speed this up using the Flows agent. And the prompt that we're going to input into a Flows agent is a prompt that we're actually going to build with Claude. But before we can use Claude, we actually need to know what our script and voiceover is so we can tailor all of the generations to what is being said, because that's the goal here. We want to create motion graphics that accompany the story of what's being said in the voiceover. And for the script, this is what I have right here. A quick story essentially explaining how I started making videos as a kid, and then now I'm still making videos as an adult. But what we want to do is customize the delivery of this script. And so inside of the text-to-speech tool within ElevenCreative, I'm going to be using the model 11v3, and with 11v3 we can use audio tags. And so here I'm simply going to add an audio tag which will tell the AI how to deliver this voiceover. And so here I'm adding the audio tag storytelling, and I'm also going to add it right here. And then at the end, I like to add the audio tag pause, just so there's a little pause of audio, which gives me a little bit of room to play with and trim. What I can then do is choose the voice for my voiceover. What I like to use for these motion graphic style videos is a good narrator voice. And if I type in narrator, we can see all of the best voices to narrate my video, because I think narrator voices are the best type of voices to accompany this storytelling content. And so here, I like this one, Noah, but we can go ahead and preview a bunch of others.
A failure is a person who has blundered.
If you want a confident, authentic...
But go ahead and choose the voice that you prefer the most, click on it, it's then used as your selected voice, and once you've got your voice, you can simply go ahead and click on Generate.
In the early 2000s, a kid borrowed his cousin's camcorder and started filming sketches in the back garden.
And then, as you can see, we've now got our full voiceover that's been generated. And what's great with 11v3, it's really fast and you can go and regenerate as many times as you need to. And between each, you can customize it and you can add more audio tags. So if we wanted the voiceover to be whispered during a certain section, we could go to a specific part within the script and then add in a quick whisper audio tag. And now if I regenerate it,
in the early 2000s,
as you can see, he whispers it a little bit more and his voice is lower. And once we have our script and the voiceover, well, we're going to use the script to customize the master prompt to build the Flows agent prompt. And we'll put a link to the Claude prompt down in the description below so you can build out flows with the Flows agent, but here's how you customize it. As you can see here, the first section is the script. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to ElevenCreative, copy the script that we put in, and we're simply going to paste it right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to remove the audio tags as they aren't really necessary for the Claude prompt. After that, we need to list out the reference assets that we're going to use. And right here, there's a little bit of a description of how it should be done, but here we can actually be pretty loose. For example, I could put photo of me as a kid, as an adult, and a camcorder. And I don't need to actually upload these into Claude because we've put right here in the prompt that the Flows agent will ask me for each of the assets when we actually prompt it. Here, you've got a bunch of the rules that it will follow, and we can ignore this. But what we do need to customize, and what we mentioned earlier, is the style block. And now you can go and use this style block as the default, but you can go and customize this and use different colors, different types of assets, animations, but everything needs to be put into there. Below this, we have the character lock block, and this essentially means that every single asset that we upload, specifically people, it will stay consistent to what they look like. A few times using Gemini Omni Flash, which is the model that we'll use, it tends to actually change the character in these types of animations, but we don't want that to happen. They can be animated, but they can't change in terms of looks. But now what we're going to do is we're going to copy this, we're going to go into Claude, we're going to paste it, and we're going to send. And as you can see, we've now got an entire build brief for the ElevenLabs Flows agent. And so I can go ahead and then copy this. And now if we head back into ElevenLabs, we're going to go ahead and click on Flows. Here we then want to go ahead and click on New Flow. And this time we're going to paste the prompt that we've just got from Claude into the ElevenLabs Flows agent and click send. Now the ElevenLabs Flows agent is going to digest our prompt and it's going to start building out the entire flow for us. So it creates everything automatically. But the first thing you'll notice right here is that it's asking for the reference assets. And so here I can go ahead and click attach, and then I can actually go to my mini doc assets. Here I'm going to upload the photo of me as a kid. I'm going to upload the photo of me as an adult, and then I'm going to upload the camcorder. And here I've just told it which image is me as a kid, which image is me as an adult, and then also basically what the camcorder is, and then just click send. So it's got that little extra context and it knows exactly what asset is which. And now, as you can see, it's actually started to place the assets on the canvas, and right here it's asking me if it can go ahead and generate, and it's showing me what the prompt will be. And so I'm going to go ahead and simply click run. Now if I wanted it to auto generate the entire sequence, well, I can go and change the permissions right here and select auto run and then click save changes. And now the first thing, as you can see, it's generated the persistent background. And so we can go ahead and choose our favorite. So let's say if we like this one at the top right here, we simply reference in chat and I can say this one. And then I click send. Now it's going to go ahead and use this for the rest of our generations. And here, as we can see, it's generated our backgrounds. And so we can go ahead and look and cycle through them. And then it's asking us which one we prefer. So we could go ahead and select this first one. And now it's going to go ahead and use this one for the rest of our generations. And as you can see, it's actually created the 3 images for each scene, and it's generating them right now automatically. And the agent, as you can see, is generating multiple options for each, which we can then go and choose from. And as you can see, we've now got 3 different image generation nodes for the 3 different scenes that we want to generate that match our script. And for each one, once again, we have generated 3. And so we can go ahead and cycle through them and then choose which one we like. And if I scroll down, we've then got the next one. And again, we've got a few different variations, a few different layouts, but they all look pretty similar because GPT Image 2 is pretty good at staying consistent with its prompts. If you don't like, you can go in and customize the prompts and rerun. And then once again, in the chat, I can say which one I prefer for each. But let's just say use the first one for each. That way it will use the first generation, each of the nodes for the video. And now we can go ahead and start generating the video. And here, as you can see, the Flows agent is asking if it's okay to start generating scene 1. Let's just type go. And while it's rendering the first scene, and I'm just going to actually place this at the top so we know what order it is in. If we take a look right here at beat 2, I feel like it's too similar. So what we could do is actually go in and customize the prompt so we get a little bit of a different layout, or we could maybe remove one of the assets. Maybe we only want the kid and we don't want the camcorder. So I could just delete that from the node and then adjust the prompt accordingly. And while Storyboard 2 is regenerating, we can see that we've got the first scene that's been fully animated. So we've got me that comes in from the left, the camcorder that comes in, the big red arrow, and then some text here and there. And essentially what's great about using Gemini Omni Flash is that it will use the entire frame as context, separate the elements, and then animate them and do what it thinks best based on the prompt that you've given it. A lot of other video models will use the reference image that you give it as the actual start frame, and so it will use this as the beginning and animate from here. But with Gemini Omni Flash, as you can see, it's creating scenes before this, and so we're seeing all the assets animate in. And now, as you can see, it's given us, again, a few options, and it's also regenerated the second storyboard right here, which I think is better. But we can simply go ahead and say, I prefer 1, please animate the rest. And as we can see, we've now got the 3 generations. And so what I want to do now is I want to right click on each, and I'm going to go and click on Save to Assets, and I'm simply going to add it to my mini doc assets folder. And I'm going to do this with all 3 of them. After that, I'm going to head into Studio and click on New Blank Project, select Video Project. And here we're going to drag in our 3 video assets and the voiceover that we made earlier. And so if I click on Files, then I click on Workspace, and here I go to Mini Doc Assets. As you can see here, we've got all of the assets that we've added. And so I can simply click the plus icon on all of the videos that we've just created, and also click the plus icon on the voiceover that we made earlier. And now what I want to do is place the videos in order of which they should appear, so they match up with the actual voiceover. And the final thing that I should do is I should click on Music, and here I want to generate a new documentary style music. And so I can use 11v2. I want to generate it without lyrics, so as an instrumental. And then I need this to be about 30 seconds long. So I'm going to set it to 38 seconds long. So I've got a little bit of leeway. And I want to generate some marimba style documentary music. And here I simply click generate. Now it's going to generate 3 different variations of my prompt that I can use as background music for my documentary. And here, as you can see, we've got the 3 songs, and I can preview them. I think this one's perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and add it again to the timeline. I'm going to drag it so it matches up with the project, and maybe I'm going to trim off the end just a little bit like so. What I want to do is I want to also lower the volume because it is background music. And now if we actually play it from the beginning without any editing or trimming, we've got something that looks like this.
In the early 2000s, a kid borrowed his cousin's camcorder and started filming sketches in the back garden. Nobody watched them. But he kept filming anyway. 20 years later, video is his entire career. Different cameras, much bigger audiences, and the same kid, still pressing record.
As you can see, without any editing or tweaking, we've got some really cool AI motion graphics that match the voiceover. And obviously there's a few parts here and there that I might want to tweak or even regenerate. For an example, I might want to start this video a little earlier, and then I might want to start this one a little later. But this is why I recommend generating longer videos than you actually need, so you have room when tweaking and playing around. But what's cool in Studio is that I can actually go and customize and generate more speech if I need to, and also select a bunch of voices. I could also actually generate video directly in here, including references, and I've got the full history of everything that I've generated in my ElevenLabs account. But that's how to generate AI motion graphics using Claude and the ElevenCreative Flows agent. We're going to link to the Flows project down below and also include the master prompt for Claude. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.